So, hello and labas. Welcome back to another episode of the Pain Family's Ultimate Decades Challenge. The year is now 1304, and we are just, making our way through time. Pretty crazy. So, before we get really into it, I just wanted to say that I'm pretty sure we're not going to all make it this year. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but this year we actually are going to have both Dovile and Selby end up having babies. So we've got birthing mom roles as well as baby roles. And in addition, Leanne and Adewolf are both going to grow up to a toddler, hopefully. And I calculated the odds, and it's only like a 23.33% average across all of them, which is about the same as the famine death roll. So I'm not convinced that all of us are going to end up making it in the end. But that's this challenge, Sometimes we win some and sometimes we lose some. We're also kind of due for a bit of a loss given that we've had such a string of luck. So we'll see how today goes. Hopefully it's not too heartbreaking, but if that's something that's going to upset you, this video might not be for you. I'll try to mark really clearly exactly where the death rolls and the actions that follow an unsuccessful death roll will go in the timestamps if you want to avoid it. So this week I think I'm going to try out 2 episodes per week where the 2 episodes include only half of a year. When I first started doing this, the goal was to only have 30-minute episodes, but this family has just been so consistently, what's the right word? So consistently trouble causing that I haven't been successful with keeping those at 30 minutes, and I don't see that happening anytime soon at this point now because, well, things are only going to get more and more challenging the further down time we go. They're not going to get less challenging. So I think it's best to just plan that might be a better way of doing things. We'll see how that goes, and it might not work out, but that's kind of my thought for this moment in time, is that we can try 2 episodes where the episodes are shorter, mostly as well because I know for some people it's really hard to watch something for like 30 minutes in one go all at once, and I understand, it's hard for me as well. Also, my editing software really struggles with going for that long, and it gets really choppy the longer the video is. So we'll give that a try and just see how it goes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. These guys are out here just sort of getting their chores going. I don't think Darius needs to harvest the garden because that's something that every peasant household would have had, so we don't have to worry about him being the one. But today is harvest day, so he's out here collecting the harvest from everything, and we'll calculate his taxes later. But I won't make everyone sit with me while I do that this time, since it was pretty rough last time. I also wanted to say thank you so much to Mystical Raven for the tip about how to disable discovery quests. They were pushing the limits of my sanity last time, so I really appreciate that. No, not the eggs. Gosh, they always get rid of... No! I'm gonna cheat that. I hope that doesn't bother anyone, but they always get rid of the eggs that aren't off. It's very frustrating to me. Anyways, discovery quests are now disabled and no longer a problem. They no longer exist in this reality, so we don't have to worry about those again. Other than that, there's a few new things in the game that I wanted to share with you guys because I think they're pretty cool. One is that I got this composting bucket from Ravasheen, and so you can put, waste and things in there, and then it becomes compost, which becomes fertilizer. We don't really have a use for fertilizer, but we have that because I thought it was more realistic. And in addition, these storage objects that create storage that's still off the grid. So I got these for, is anything in here? Yeah, this one is just kind of like for meat and salt. And then this one is for eggs and milk, because at the time people actually drank soured milk a lot of the time. They weren't drinking like, fresh milk. And that was just what everyone did. But in addition, at the time, eggs like wouldn't just go off super fast like that. And I thought it doesn't really make a ton of sense for that to be the case. We keep having to just like, immediately cook them, which is great, but it's also great to recognize the fact that The Sims isn't always realistic, and so we're just going to go ahead and work with the situation that we have. So we're just getting things going. Everything's going the way that it should. We might put Selby down for a nap in a moment because she didn't sleep that well because of the children. And then Vilcus likes the sheep and the goat, so he can take over that for today. I don't think that's a problem. Vilcus, who is at this point now 16 as well. He's already 16 years old, so adulthood is coming for him. Ugh, Gree, our little miracle. You can get up and get some food, and then, yes, you can go potty by yourself. Big win, big win. The Nade Wolf, you look like someone who wants to use a diaper. Oh, we got 2 more hatchable eggs. That's funny. Really funny game. Oh no, that was apparently a lie. A big ruse. Ah, yeah, everything's going a-okay. Nice and easy. I'll calculate their taxes in just a moment. Again, I'm not going to make everyone sit through that painful experience with me. Oh no, he now wants to become disliked by the Earl. It's not a healthy response. It's not going to help us out, bud. Oh, that's pretty cute. Man, where does time go when you're sorting food into different places in The Sims? Selby's sleeping soundly. She thinks it's dirty in here. She always thinks it's dirty in here. Aidwolf is sleeping soundly, stared at by the mini sheep and the mini goat, who are, I guess, just keeping an eye on him. Vilcus is being the best uncle ever. What a cool guy. And you look like someone who wants to make some more candles and press some more honey. So yeah, Selby should go into labor at some point. Relatively soon, I think. Oh no, she's not. She's in her 3rd trimester. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, no, today's just a chill day. Just a nice harvest day. We did the taxes. Okay, now the other thing that we brought up last episode is that we owe money for the way that the wedding had gone, and the fact that Dovile kind of did what she wanted and Harlan did what he wanted, and that kind of got her out of being a serf. So I guess we're gonna have to jump over. So in the way that I'm playing this challenge, we all know we've started as serfs, which is a real bummer. Nobody wants to be a serf. It's kind of a big disaster. However, I've created these goals which are about basically being able to escape from serfdom. So that's goal number 1, is to, find a way to no longer be a serf. And there are a couple different ways that you can do this, but the way that it's working out for this family, for Dovile especially, is that she essentially got bought out. And so the cost of buying your way out when you marry above your class, so to a freed person, is 1,500. So they're going to owe 1,500 for her as sort of like the earl's cost for letting her get away, even though in this case he didn't have that much control over it. That's what he's going to charge them for the embarrassment. And in addition, we owe him 100 for his marriage tax as well. There were at the time a few different ways that you could escape being a serf. It's just that it wasn't always easy, and depending on different parts in time, like whatever the different part in time it was, it could be more expensive, it could be easier, but we'll get into that, before plague and after plague, depending on how long it takes us to be able to start working towards our freedom. So we owe 1,600, 1,500 for Deauville's Lake, buying her way out. It's called a quit rent. And 100 for the marriage tax that we didn't pay. Deauville and Harlan are going to owe a different amount of money, but we'll get into that. We'll spend a day with them on Thursday when Deauville gives birth and around Leanne's birthday. So we're taking that money out, and our money, even though we were doing so well, has dramatically gone down, but that's just the way it is. So it's pretty late, actually, and we're just going to do a few more things with them before putting them all down for the night, and then we'll catch back up in the morning. Today's Wednesday, second day of this year, so everything's going swimmingly. I just went ahead and opened the live-in business overnight to, make it a little bit, basically to get that stuff going. It does take a long time for them to buy stuff, so I thought, So today is Midsummer's Day. I meant to add that to the calendar because it was a pretty big deal in medieval times. And it's supposed to happen in June in medieval times. And on the longest day of the year, people would celebrate. They'd light fires. They would put on some plays. They would have wrestling competitions, which unfortunately we can't have in The Sims. I wish that we could. They would do archery. They would play football, which of course was a terribly violent and dangerous game at the time. Football was often played with a pig's bladder, and they would set up markers either across two towns or across two different sides of town. And the basic rule for football at the time was to get the ball to your target by any means necessary except for murder. They had that as part of the rules. Just don't murder people, which tells you something. A lot of people actually died and were terribly injured when they played football back in the day, but they really loved it at the time. Oh, by football, I mean the way that in Europe they call football, not the way that in America we call the throwing sport football, if that makes sense. So yeah, they would play football. And another thing that was really popular at the time is gambling. And I really wanted to do gambling. I was we don't have very much money. It'll be fantastic. We'll really risk it, But the only way I have found to have gambling in the game is to get Journey to Batu. And it was just the sale on Journey to Batu, but I just can't bring myself to buy that pack. I wish I could, but I can't. I just can't bring myself to do it. I really like the cast assets, and I know for a fact that we could use that for Ultimate Decades. I also really like some of the build by, the floors and the walls. Oh no, another chicken's going down. And I do want gambling, but to me, even on sale, it was $13.99. And so I really struggle with that because I'm well, that's the same price as a pack oh gosh, what is the one that's it came with specters and you could, it's all 1920s style, spiritualism. I can't remember what that's called now, but to me, Batu is not worth the same as a pack like that, and so I really struggle with buying it. I stared at it every day that the sale was on recently for Black Friday, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. How is there no food left? There are only 4 of you. Who ate double? Somebody... Gree! You greedy girl, you have already eaten, and you're trying to steal your dad's food. Darius was like, that's okay. It's not a big deal. No, she doesn't need to have your food as well as her own. So anyways, at the time, gambling was super popular. People gambled at dice games, even though it was illegal for anyone who was lower in status than a knight to gamble. And also dice and board games were pretty popular. So, of course, as it is throughout all of human history, people were just like, let's risk our money. So we might just have everyone go out and go celebrate Midsummer's once. Ooh, this is a Panda Sama override for medieval times, but this toddler toy is like so cute. The little rocking horse, I love it to bits and pieces. Just look. Gree's gonna be a lot of trouble when she grows up, I think. What did we find out about her? She's destructive and aggressive. But look at that little smile. Okay, before we go, we just closed the live-in store, and we started with 3,503. We currently have 5,104, so we're taking out some more money. And then we will all catch up when we get to the peasant meeting place soon. So here we are at the peasant meeting spot. Hopefully Sarah Scott's going to go over there and start working on those bartendings. But I don't know, might not work. Selby's pretty hungry, so I'm hoping that she'll start working. But yeah, this is the peasant meeting spot. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Oh, Summerlet is here. Oh yeah, I forgot. When I first created them, I actually had Summerlet. Oh yes. Get some food, girlfriend. I actually created a backstory where Summerlet also was, hey, I just checked all of these. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this game, this family are completely out of control. I've never had a family like this. I really thought when I first started with them, you know, a lot of the time when you start decades, nothing goes on for a while. You just like are farming and foraging and things are pretty, you know, mundane. Nothing crazy is happening. So you can have like these pretty short, pretty fast like playthroughs. And this family has consistently been like, nope, not us. We are drama. Have you met us? Drama are us. We equal drama. I just had Darius meet Summerlet because he is another serf, because he is an Evanson. He's actually Sindri's brother. He's been kind of like hanging around in the background for a while. He's like a pretty good looking sim, I think, personally. And I was about to say that when I first created this, I did want a little bit of drama because I thought it was going to start off super quiet, super easy. Joke's on me. And so I had Selby and Summerlet have like the slightest hint of attraction to each other, you know, just like the slightest little teensy tiny thing. Well, I just had Darius meet Summerlet so that we can ask him to be part of Surfmen. And what happened? What happened? They fell in love at first sight. So it says, when Darius met Summerlet, a wave of longing washed over him. It's somehow as if Summerlet could see into the very depths of his soul, and although they've just barely met, it's clear that fate has bound them together. I ignore the umbrellas. I don't have a mod for that. I don't know how to deal with this. With these mortal enemies, like these are a serious like Romeo and Juliet situation over here. I'm not really sure what to do. So for now, I'm gonna let it sit. Dude, chill out. Everyone's freaked out about your clothes as well, but like you need to calm down. You too? A2 Brutus. Okay, well, I don't know. This family. Yeah, have some wine, because I just full on panicked. I full on panicked just then. Well, you know, on the upside, there's a lot of drama. A lot of drama. Okay. We're gonna have them have some drinks and we'll go home for... So I'll just have our drinks and our food and get out of here because you guys are too dramatic even for me. Man. I was just sitting here thinking how smooth this was going, this recording. I was like, ah, yeah, finally things have calmed down. It's going to be like smooth sailing for a while. Okay, so it's like 6:20 p.m. on Wednesday, the second day of 1304. These guys are really trying to, they said, you know, you want the drama, we'll give you the drama. We got you. And I said, you really do. So we're back at home. I did want to bring up as well that it is Leanne's birthday currently. Today is Leanne's birthday, but on Thursday we're going to spend the day with the Brewers just to see like what life is looking like for them currently. And so we'll do hers when we get there. I'm a little bit superstitious about the order that we do them in, so I like to make sure that the order follows exactly as it should do. We'll make sure that we do her birthday roll before we do Dovile's birth, but I don't like switching back and forth between households. It's just like a waste of time and energy. So we're just gonna like let them all do some stuff and occupy themselves. Vilkas has already gone to sleep. We're just gonna have her like, I don't know, put Adewolf down in a moment and go to sleep. And then we're just kind of waiting for when she gives birth. And we'll do that together. And then we'll probably call today to a close. So everyone send positive vibes. Well, at this point, we're just playing the waiting game. We have 4,647. And I'm going to open up the living stall because we're just waiting around anyways. You know, these guys are pretty dramatic, but I gotta say, they are one of my favorite Sims families. They constantly are just like, surprise! So it's getting pretty late. Selby's going to go into, yep, there she goes. Sorry, Darius, we need this more. Don't do it. Don't do it. Gosh, Darius, we need it more. Okay, so this is it. Next bit. Where's our bassinet? Did I put it upstairs? I don't know where it is. I must have put it somewhere. I'm not sure what could possibly go wrong with having 3 young children in one space together when they're not separated by walls and they can hear each other screaming, but I'm sure that we're about to find out. Selby, what a face. You look horrified. Honestly, I'm scared for you. So you should be horrified. Okay, Selby, good luck. We're rooting for you.
Oh, Nibbana. Oh, Nubu. Oh, Waxwin. Oh, Scoofa. Ooh,
Boy! Yeah! Okay, so we've got a boy. Sorry. We've got a boy. Maybe we'll go with Esmond. Esmond means grace, according to what I've got. So Esmond Grace, that's a pretty nice one. I'm gonna get Selby taking care of baby. I'm gonna deal with the money situation. We made a lot of money. We owe a lot of taxes, but what can you do? And then we're gonna have to bring up the roll of Destiny. Okay, let's stop putting it off and see. Does Selby make it? And does our little bub, what was his name again? Esmond. Does Esmond make it? Okay, so to refresh ourselves, Selby only had one baby, so we just have to avoid for her a 1 or an 11. I fancy her chances. That's only 10%. Let's hope I don't end up eating those words. Okay, so this is for Selby. Oh my goodness. I just said it. I fancy her chances, and I hope I don't end up eating my words. Well, okay. Fair enough. That's the roll. That's the roll. That's the way it goes. You know what? Why not? This episode, it was going to be chill, and it's become insane already. So, sure. Selby, sorry. Love you. Maybe this way you don't have to deal with the whole soulmate situation. I don't know. Okay, fine. Baby Esmond, who is super cute. 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20. Those will all result in him not being able to progress up to the next stage of life. I'm hoping he makes it, because now we're losing Selby and we've only got 2 little babies, and like according to my modified roles, it's a little tough to make it to teenhood. If you can make it, you're like pretty good for a long chunk of time, but like young life is rough. So come on, Esmond. Grace. Give us grace to be able to keep you. Oh yeah, he just slid through there, so we get to keep Esmond. Esmond, I'm super happy we get to keep you. This episode is wild. We're keeping Esmond. Selby, unfortunately, I mean, we can try pleading. I like trying to plead, because who knows what's going to happen. But, you know, this is just the first 2 rolls out of the 6 for this year. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens in the next half of the year. We'll send Selby outside. We'll try and see if... Are you gonna... Oh, you already did. Okay, my bad. I got distracted by the fact that you are doomed and we are about to say goodbye to you. Okay, everyone. Well... It's halfway through the year 1305. Oh my gosh, and we didn't even get to plead for her. No chance to plead. I guess that Crushed to Death by Murphy Bed is one that you don't get to plead with. So, what is happening? I closed this. No, stop it, guys. Okay, I didn't. I lied. I did not. I must have accidentally opened it. My bad. I apologize. Who are all these people? Summerlid, get out of here. Now's not the right time. Okay, so I think we owe more money. We can't plead for Selby. She's just lost to us for forever. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna reflect on the things that have happened here. I said I wanted drama, I guess. You know, Darius, I'm glad you're at least a little bit sad, because you were really freaking me out there. We're gonna add in some cash for Vilcus because he deserves his cut. We're going to engrave this. Yep, and emotions are all over the place. There's dust everywhere. We now no longer have a lady in the house. Vilcus is 16. He's enraged to have to add money to his piggy bank. I don't know what to tell you, kid. We've lost Selby. Okay, well, I guess it's now Thursday, so we will head on over to the brewer house. We'll catch up with them. We'll move along forward. Nobody here even seems sad. Okay, at least Grease sad. Aidwolf, okay, fair enough. He's a toddler, like, or an infant. Oh gosh, this family in this game, they are chaotic. Okay, so, well, that brings the first half of 1304 to a close. Hope you liked it. Hope you're still hanging in there with me through this emotional roller coaster. Comments are very valued. I love them. Thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me out to know like what it is that's working and what's not working. And I will see you in the second half of the year when we move on to the Brewer family. Bye bye.